Hello and welcome to the Premier League preview brought to you by sportsbet.io. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe and get involved with the debate. This is talking about the Premier League and Gameweek 23, but subscribe to the channel to get the latest previews regarding football from across Europe. We've got Champions League, which is back. Also, the latest previews regarding the NBA and NFL. Hello, I'm Gavin Puszczalowskyi and I'm joined by Paul Robinson. Give us a quick wave, Robbo. Never asked you to wave before.
A wave?
Yeah, give us a wave. I've never asked
you. You may have a wave.
Why did I ask you to wave? Come on, Mels, give us a wave. Oh, there he is.
What is this? Is it Wackadoo?
I don't know why I asked for that, but I did. Paul Robinson, who played formerly for England and Spurs and Leeds, and we've got Neil Mellor, formerly a Red, a Liverpool striker, also playing for West Ham as well. We're going to go through your trebles for this week. We're going to be looking at some big game previews. We've got Neil's quiz on the way, but right now we're going to talk about the big talking point from the last 7 days of the Premier League, and I would say that the big talking point this week is Manchester United. And quite simply, I'll ask the question to you first, Mels. What's going on with Man United?
Great, isn't it? Really enjoying it. First time I've enjoyed watching Manchester United for years, the last few. I think there's obviously clearly problems. They've had problems with the ownership. The fans haven't been happy with the Glazers. They've wanted that change. It has happened. It's going to take time for the new ownership to really make a stamp. They've changed managers time and time again. But one of the biggest problems for me is the recruitment. Look at some of the players that Manchester United have spent big money on. Mason Mount, not worked. Sancho, Anthony, Casemiro. I mean, the lone Weghorst. This is Manchester United. And the recruitment has been nowhere near good enough for Manchester United. And ultimately, the results on the pitch have been affected by that. They did win the FA Cup last season, but in terms of the Premier League, they have been nowhere near it. And the league table isn't lying this season.
Lost 3-1 at home to Brighton last time out, and Ruben Amorin described his team in the press conference afterwards as maybe the worst in the 147-year history of the club. As a player in the dressing room for Man United, Robbo, how would you have taken that news that you've just been considered to be part of maybe the worst team ever in the club's history?
Well, there's different attitudes in the dressing room. I think that's one of the problems that he's got. I think some players may look at it with a wide smile and laugh at it. Others will take it personally, want to do something about it. I think that's the problem that he's got in his dressing room. There's not enough leaders in the dressing room who take pride in the shirt, and I think that's what Mel says about the recruitment is there for all to see. But listen, I don't think he's devoid of blame. I know he's come in, he's got this great reputation, but actually be a little bit more versatile. You know, you've come into a club. Managers don't get jobs when things are going well. Adapt in the short term, understand what you want to do in a long-term philosophy, but if you haven't got the players to do what you want to do and achieve some results in the short term, don't keep getting beat every week, making the same mistakes, playing the same system and getting found out. Be a little bit adaptable, have your long-term plan in place, know what you're going to do and achieve long-term, but in the short term, stop the rot and get some results. I don't think he's devoid of blame either.
I've always said when a new manager comes in to, generally as a manager when you come into a club, it's because there's generally because there's a failure from the managers before. That's why you've come in. And as a fan of a club, you want to see a little glimpse of what it can be. Yes, okay, there may be some results that you kind of go, well, this is just how we are right now. When we're going to throw some stinkers in there, but there's a couple of games in here that show what can happen with this manager in charge. Are Man United getting a glimpse of what the future could be under Ruben Amorin? Are they getting enough encouragement to get behind their man right now, Mels?
Well, I think the two performances that stand out is the draw at Anfield when the fans thought they were going to get hammered and they drew the game, played quite well actually, and the one in the FA Cup when they were down to 10 men to beat Arsenal on penalties. So they were two decent victories against teams that are much better than them at the moment. The problem is the consistency. They haven't backed it up and they're not showing that consistency. I agree with Robbo. The manager's got a way of playing, but he hasn't got the players who can do that and certainly don't have the understanding to do that just yet. So the inconsistency will be there. He's going to need to bring his own players in. That will take time. And as time goes by, Manchester United, them and the top teams, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, it's just not where the fans want to be. They want to be competing, and they're just not.
Yeah, they may not be the worst ever team in the history of Man United, but they could be the worst ever Premier League team in the history of Man United. Lowest ever finish they've had was 8th. At the moment, they are currently 13th, and the lowest number of goals scored in the Premier League by Man United is 49, which was about 9 seasons ago. They've currently scored 27 after 22 games this season. Realistically then, Robbo, how much time has Ruben Amorin got, do you think, before they really start to question him? Or is this a case of, look, you're new to the job, we have a bit of a mess of a club behind the scenes, you've got another season or two to turn this around, or do you think there'll be question marks quite early?
He's buying himself time because of what he's saying and what he's doing. He's saying, look, this is what I want to do. And he's putting a lot of emphasis and onus on the players, right? Because you look at the system that he's playing, he's saying, I'm playing this way and I'm not changing. And he's not changing. But the reality of the situation is you've only got a few days left of January. Signings, none. You've still got the same players. You've not managed to shift any out of the dressing room yet. So after the window closes, if you've still got that nucleus of players in your dressing room and not the ability to change to the style that you want to change, he's going to have to show some flexibility. He's buying himself time because of his reputation. He's coming in with this great reputation. Listen, the Portuguese League is nowhere near the Premier League. We know that, but there's been a lot of successes come out of the Portuguese League. He's got time. He's probably got till this time next year. They'll give him this window, the summer window, and then when he starts in pre-season, if they're at this point where they are now at the same time next year, that's when questions will start being asked. I think he's got about 12 months because of the way that he's handling the media, because of the way that he's speaking, the perception that everybody's got of him as this great manager, this great coach, who for me, he's got to prove himself in the Premier League.
And finally then, and I'll ask Mel's this, just yes or no from Mel's, because I know the fact that you revelled in the fact that Man United are, closer to the relegation zone than Liverpool at the top of the league. But do you think a top 10 finish for Man United this season? Do you think that's where they're going to finish, top half or bottom half? Where do you think they're going to finish?
Bottom half.
Thought that might be the answer.
Robbo disagrees. No.
Where do you think they finish, Robbo? I can't. You can't envisage Manchester United finishing the bottom half of the Premier League, can you? All this talk about relegation battle. They've shown they can get results like they did against Arsenal. They've shown the performances are there after the window closes and everybody's where they should be. There's no talk about players leaving the club. I think he might get a little bit of unrest and he might get a tune out of some of the players that he hasn't necessarily got before, because after the window closes on the 3rd of February, everybody's stuck with each other. So it's either going to go well or not. I think they get out of the bottom half. I think they finish in the top half.
Okay, thank you. The big talking point, Manchester United, possibly the worst ever Manchester United in the history of the club, according to their own manager. Right, next up, big game previews. So it is game week 23. We're going to look at 4 big games this weekend and ask the guys for their very quick thoughts and their score predictions. We're starting with Manchester City at home to Chelsea, the big game of the weekend. I'll come to you first, Robbo, in this one. Your thoughts and score prediction, please.
Seemingly turned the corner, Manchester City, haven't they? At the point of recording now, they've got a Champions League game this week against PSG. 2 of them trying to avoid getting knocked out of the Champions League at the moment, the way that the league's sitting. So it's a massive game for them. Seemingly turned a corner, Manchester City. Signings are coming in. Listen, have they stopped the rot? Yes, they've stopped the rot. They've stopped the initial problem. I think, are they where they want to be? I think there's still a way to go to that. But actually, the results that they've got, 1-3, drawn 2 of their last 5, you would suggest that the corner has been turned with new signings coming in, reinforcements into the squad, depending on how quickly they settle, because they're young players with potential. But some of that potential has already been fulfilled, but there's a lot more still to come from them. Chelsea team, I mean, there was no winning 5 Premier League games before the Wolves game. Beat Wolves 3-1. Still wonder about Enzo Maresca's drop-off at this stage of the season. I think it's a bad time for Chelsea to go to Manchester City. I've got City to win 3-1.
3-1 win for Man City. Enzo Maresca, former youth coach at Manchester City. Man City 1.89 at the time of recording. Chelsea 3.7, 4.1 for the title. Does that 3.7 tempt you for Chelsea, Neil? Your thought and score prediction, please.
Yeah, I don't think City have turned the corner, and the reason being, look at the teams they've been beaten. West Ham, good time to play them. Leicester, good time to play them. Salford, 8-0 in the FA Cup. Ipswich, away, a big win. So this would be a result, if they were to get it, that's when people would start thinking, okay, maybe City are back, but not yet. No, not yet. I think it's still early to be calling that one. They're bringing in players. They're spending a lot of money in this window. They're clearly building for the future. But their battle is top 4. And this is a massive game for the top 4. Chelsea are above them at the moment. I don't see Chelsea getting beat. I really don't. I think they'll go there and get something, probably swaying towards more of a draw. But that is an appealing price away from home, because people are thinking City are back. But look at the games they've been playing. This is the biggest test they've had. And here's a stat for you. Look at this. Goals against at home in the Premier League, Man City, 9th in the league. They've conceded too many goals. I think Chelsea with Palmer, with the attacking players they can have chances in this game. I don't think Chelsea have beaten them since the Champions League final. Am I right in thinking?
Correct.
When Havertz who got the winner? I'm on a draw. 1-1 for me.
Do you think they're out of the title race, City? You said City are looking for top 4. Do you think they're out of a title race?
You think they're in it? 12 points behind?
Certainly do it. 25-1, the price I got 2 days ago. Absolutely, yeah. Worth £10 of anybody's money, that. 12-point gap, if anybody can close that gap at 25-1, there's some value in that.
Robbo, there's 16 games left. They're going to have to win 14 of them 16. And they've still got Liverpool to play. They've got Arsenal to play Chelsea. I think that's a big ask. I think they might get second. I'd go with that one, but
that was another bet, 5-1. Liverpool and Manchester City to finish first and second in any order. I thought that was a good one as well.
That's a better one than your title one.
I will tell you, last time these teams met, they did draw. It was 1-1. Previous to that, they drew 4-4. I'll have a little bit of that. Thanks very much. That was a belting game. So a split opinion in that one. Game 2 is Wolves at home to Arsenal. Time of recording, 6.8 for Wolves to win this game. Arsenal are 1.47. The tie is 4.6. Mel's, I'm starting with you in this one. Your thoughts on score prediction, Wolves, Arsenal, please.
Yeah, I'm all over Arsenal here. I know they were 2-0 up against Villa and they'll be disappointed not to have won that game. They are in the title race, only 6 points behind. And they're at a stage now where they need to be maintaining that pressure on Liverpool, and these slip-ups could be costly, especially away at Wolves, who are fighting to stay in the league. Bad defeat for Wolves last time out, albeit they were 1-1 at one stage against Chelsea. So, I'm all over an Arsenal win. 6 games unbeaten away from home. They have lost at Bournemouth. They have lost at Newcastle. Disappointing ones. They haven't had a clean sheet in 9 away games. So that gives you the thought that maybe Wolves might get a goal. So I give Wolves a goal, but I'm on Arsenal to win this one 2-1.
2-1. I will tell you that Arsenal have won their last 3 games at Molineux and kept a clean sheet in all 3. What about you, Paul? Thoughts on score predictions, Wolves, Arsenal?
Yeah, they've got a good record at Wolves of Arsenal, but I'm going against the form book. I think with Vitor Pereira going in there at Wolves, there was a little bit of hope at the start. The last 3 results, 3 defeats, conceding 3 each time. 3 against Forest, 3 against Newcastle, 3 against Chelsea. Something not quite right there. Talking about Cunha as well after the game against Newcastle. The attitude, the application of his players. They're going to have to be some kind of reaction from Wolves, and they're going to have to get it at home. I like Wolves at home. Havertz got 8 goals. Cunha's got 10 this year. So the lack of a number 9 may eventually hurt Arsenal in this title race. They played Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League this week after the back of the disappointment against Villa. I've got Wolves to nick it, 2-1.
Ooh. Exact same scoreline when Wolves last nicked it back in 2021. That was the last time Wolves won at home to Arsenal. They did so by 2-1. 2 games, 2 split opinions. I am liking this. Game 3 is Liverpool at home to Ipswich. Something tells me there's not going to be a split opinion about this one. Liverpool are extremely short, 1.11 at the time of recording. Ipswich, biggest price I think of the weekend at 15.5 to win this one. The draw is 12. I'm coming to you first, Paul. Your thoughts and score prediction for Liverpool at home to Ipswich?
I question why you picked this as one of the big games just because Liverpool are top. I mean, this is the most formality, the biggest formality of the weekend. You know, you look where Liverpool are, you look where Ipswich are. The only thing I'll be looking forward to is watching Liam Delap play, because I think he puts in a great performance every time he plays. They've lost 12 games this year, Ipswich, the same as Tottenham. It's a non-event. It's how many and who scores them. It's an absolute waste of mine and your time sat here talking about his team.
Well, give us a goal scorer, Robbo. Who's going to score for the Red Men?
We've got a real surprise one. Mo Salah.
Just the 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, give us a scoreline.
5-0 Liverpool.
5-0 Liverpool. I will tell you, this is you can rip this stat to shreds. It's a true stat, but it's completely irrelevant. Ipswich have actually won 2 of the last 3 games at Anfield, but that was back in 1995 in the year 2000. Yeah, I know. Last time Liverpool won at home to Ipswich in the Premier League, the scoreline was 5-0. Come on, Mels, give us your thoughts, score prediction for your team against Ipswich.
Yeah, I want Ipswich to really battle hard to stay up, and they may have a chance to do so. And they are. They're having a go, aren't they? So in credit to them, this is a tough game. They found out last week against City, if they're not at it against some of the top sides, they're going to get hurt. And again, this one, the worry for Ipswich is Liverpool rested Trent, Gakpo, Konate. There's going to be freshness there. Salah looks irresistible again against Lille in the Champions League with an unbelievable goal. I'm going to go for 4. I'm going to go for 4. 4-0 for Liverpool.
Thank you. I told you no split opinion that one. I do apologise for wasting everybody's time talking about Liverpool winning at home to Ipswich. This game, though, Game 4, who would have thought at the start of the season that we'd have dubbed this a big game? But a big game it is. Bournemouth at home to Nottingham Forest. That is correct. At the time of recording, prices, Bournemouth 2.06, Forest at 3.45, the tie is 3.75. This is third, and in the hunt for the title, Nottingham Forest away at 7th, Bournemouth in the hunt for European football. Neil, I'm coming to you first. Your thoughts, Bournemouth Forest?
Game of the weekend. What a game this is. This is two teams who have surprised everybody, but they've been great to watch in different ways. Because Bournemouth, even though they've got all these injuries, went to Newcastle and just took it to them and won 4-1. That was a great result. Clivert with the hat-trick. Forest, they have their style, but it's effective. They've won 8 of the last 9 games. Forest are 9 unbeaten. Bournemouth are 11 unbeaten. The obvious bet is a draw, but here's one for you. And the reason why I'm swaying for an away win, because Bournemouth at home do not score enough goals. They are the 15th best team at home in the Premier League for scoring goals. Away they've done all right, but at home they're not scoring enough. So I've got Forest to nick it. I just think Forest are going to battle, and people are saying they're not in a title race. They are in a title race. 6 points off. Forest to win, 2-1 for me.
See, I think that 3.45 for Forest is a very, 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 very tempting price. You could argue that this could be a pick-em. Paul, your thoughts? Bournemouth Forest score prediction, please.
Yeah, whoever's giving you that 3 point whatever it was obviously at the City Ground like I was this week and saw Nottingham Forest struggle over the line against Southampton. First half they were excellent, but again they surrendered possession. They had less possession at home than Southampton. I mean, Southampton dominated the ball, but Forest was so clinical on the break. But Morgan Gibbs-White, Elanga, Hudson-Odoi came off injured. Was it Hudson-Odoi or like one of the wingers came off injured? I can't remember which one it was. He's not going to be fit. Looked like he had a hamstring. Chris Wood got his 14th of the season. They're in a good place with Milenkovic and Murillo, the two centre-halves. Defensively, they look sound. But the second half, I saw something I've not seen from Forest this year. They had the backs to the wall and they were hanging on. I mean, they hung on against Liverpool to get the point. A better team, but they were really hanging on against Southampton, who in all honesty dominated possession in that game. Forest were the better team. Struggling to call this one because if Forest pick up where they left off without Hudson-Odoi and the way that they played, but then you look at the stat, no team's picked up more points. Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. No team's picked up more points since the start of December than Nottingham Forest. But Bournemouth, as you say, at home don't score enough goals. I was on an away win all over until I saw Forest in the second half last week. I'm going to stick with it. Away win, Forest 1-0.
It's not only is it the biggest game of the weekend, you would argue, in terms of league positions, it is also the toughest game of the weekend to call. Last 8 meetings between these two sides, 4 draws and 4 wins for Bournemouth. Forest have not beaten Bournemouth since 2015 in the Championship. You've both gone for an away day victory, and if results go their way, Forest, they could finish this weekend in second place, just a few points behind Liverpool. Good luck with your predictions, chaps. Time for Neil's quiz. This is where me and Robbo go head to head, and you'll hear the voice of producer Sam, surely, because I'm going to make him say hello. I'm reading the rules of the game off my phone because he's just sent them to me. We've got 5 questions. Neil, you're going to tell us if the question is multiple choice. We must wait, Paul, to wait for the question to be read out in full, and then we shout our names. So you go with Robbo and I'll go with Gav. Fairly simple stuff. And producer Sam will say who answers if it's too tight to call. Say hello, producer Sam.
Hello, I want a fair game here.
There he is. There's the voice of producer Sam. Are we ready for... Phone away, by the way. Are we ready for question 1 of On the Buzzer with Neil Mellor?
Here we go.
Going to be gripping under this.
All games related this weekend. Liverpool against Ipswich. Ipswich have 1 win in history at Anfield. How many goals will Liverpool score? Who's going to score for Liverpool? So the goal scorers. Who has scored more goals at Anfield in the Premier League this season? Your multiple choice are these: Diaz, Jota, or Gakpo. Who scored the most Premier League goals at Anfield this season?
Gavin.
Yep, Gav.
Thank you, Sam. I'm going to go for Gakpo.
1-0 Gav.
Yeah, get in
You
there.
can play, Paul.
Get in there.
Wolves v Arsenal, question 2, multiple choice. Odegaard scored last season away at Wolves. He's played 26 games since and only scored 1 goal. Who was it against? Bournemouth, West Ham, or Fulham?
Gavin.
Yep, Gav.
Fulham.
Wrong. Robbo.
I was just waiting for it to be narrowed down to 2.
50-50.
No
I know
idea.
you were.
West Ham or who?
Bournemouth.
West Ham.
1-1. It's the equaliser from Robbo.
I know what your tactic is, my friend. I'm aware of what your tactic is.
Question 3. Man City v Chelsea. The last time Man City played Chelsea in January was 2022. It was 1-0 to City. Who scored the winning goal? Kevin De Bruyne, Jesus, or Raheem Sterling?
Nobody's going first. Gavin.
Go on, Gav.
Just for the purpose of this not going on for eternity. Kevin De Bruyne.
2-1 Gav.
Thanks very much. Get
That's
in
what
there.
I had that, but I didn't want to go.
Right, Brighton against Everton. Unbeaten in 4 away at Brighton. Everton 1-2, drawn 2. Last time Brighton beat Everton, Neil Maupay scored for Brighton. Here we go. He played 32 times for Everton and scored 1 goal. Who was it against? Luton, Burnley, or West Ham? Neil Maupay, 1 goal in an Everton shirt. Who was it against? Luton, Burnley, or West Ham?
Gavin.
Go on, Gav.
I'm going to go for Burnley.
Wrong. Luton or West Ham? Come on, Robbo, for the equaliser.
50-50.
Well, West Ham served me well last time, so let's go Luton.
Oh, I should have gone West Ham.
Oh!
Still 2-1. Here we go. Final question. Chance for the equaliser, Robbo. This is not multiple choice. Okay, I fancy Robbo to get it, though. Fulham against Manchester United this weekend. Fulham haven't beaten United since 2009 at home. Okay, so a long, long time. Rooney, Owen, Berbatov and Welbeck played for Manchester United that day. They got beat 3-0. I want to know, who was the goalkeeper for United who let them down that day?
Robbo.
Yep, Robbo.
Edwin van der Sar.
Wrong. That was your chance for the equaliser. You've gone too early. Wrong. 2009. United goalie. He's got all that firepower up top. Rooney, Owen, Welbeck, Berbatov. Got beat 3-0.
2009.
Well, you've won anyway. Just say anybody. Doesn't matter. The quiz is over. You're dragging this on.
Correct. Mark Bosnich, even though I'm not sure it's him.
Your clue was going to be he's got a surname that sounds a bit like yours.
Yeah, I know. I can see him. He's got blonde hair and he had a hell of a fringe, which is complete opposite to me. I can't think of...
Yes, Robbo.
Who was it?
Kuszczak.
That's the one.
Yeah. Anyway, your tiebreaker question, which isn't relevant, was going to be how many goals did Michael Owen score for Manchester United? He played that day for United, didn't score. How many goals did he score in a United shirt?
Michael Owen, the Manchester United ambassador.
How many goals did he score?
I would say... I'm no fear going first this one, because this week belongs to me. I would say 53.
52.
17.
What?
That was gripping.
Sam, can you declare who the winner is for On the Buzzer, Week 2 with Neil Mellor?
The winner this week is Gavin.
Thank you very much. Good night. God
Gavin,
bless. Have a safe journey
surname?
home.
You got a big surname, sorry. What was the surname, Sam?
P. It begins with a P.
And ends in?
Puszczalowskyi.
That's the right answer. Well done. You win a prize too. We'll have round 3 of On the Buzzer with Neil Mellor next week. Now, it's time for the trebles. So, what we're going to do is ask you for your best 3 picks for this weekend's action in the Premier League. We're going to put 10 USDT on those selections, and then whatever money we get over the course of the season, we're going to donate to charity. In the bank already, we do have 73 USDT for Neil Mellor. Yet to get off the mark is Paul Robinson. Last week, your choice was Mel's West Ham, Arsenal, Forest. You got let down by West Ham and Arsenal. Do you remember what your choice was, Robbo?
No, I remember what it was at the start of the season when I was winning by a long way, but then the game changed, so now I've got none in the bank. But yeah, I can't remember the last week. I'm going big and I'm going big again.
You did this off the cuff in terms of I've not really thought about this because sometimes we ask you ahead and we know what you're going to say. And last week you went Fulham, who won, Brighton, who won, and Chelsea, who won. So your treble landed. Now, if you look at this smile, if you look back at last week, some of the prices had greyed out, so we couldn't put the treble on. But I can tell you that was 6.8. So you now have banked 68 USDT. So it's 73 for Mel's and 68 for Robbo. So congratulations, my friend. You landed a treble last week, which is excellent. Fair play.
Slightly smaller than what I would have liked. I'd have liked bigger odds, but let's keep going with the big ones.
Well, the funny thing is, Brighton actually weren't as big a price to win at Man United as you thought they would have been because, well, it's currently the worst Man United side in the history of Man United. So it wasn't as big a price. But 6.8, that's applaudable. Let's go again for this week. The treble for Mel's. What are you going for?
Brighton to win this poor run against Everton at home. Newcastle to beat Southampton, because everyone does. And Arsenal away at Wolves.
The Neil Maupay derby. I have to applaud Neil Maupay's ability to wind a football club up in the way he winds Everton up, by the way. That's fair shout. 3.44 is your treble. So 10 USDT has gone on that. Of course, that's just over 34. Now, I have to reach for my laptop here because just like last week, and it's a winning formula, so what? Don't change a winning formula. I don't know what your treble is. So hit me with them live.
So I had a plan this week. I was going to go against every team that Mel's picked. I was going to go with their opponents. But he's picked Newcastle to beat Southampton. And Southampton couldn't beat an egg, so I'm not even going to go there. I saw them. I'm going to go Everton to beat Bournemouth. Brighton even. Everton to beat Brighton.
Yep.
I'm going to go Wolves to beat Arsenal.
Oh, my word. Before you tell me your third, that is already a double of just under 40.
Right, good. Let's stick a West Ham in there to beat Villa.
Right, let's have a look. Price of West Ham. Oh, my word, this is going to be huge. Right, so you've gone for Wolves to win at home to Arsenal. You've gone for West Ham to win away at Villa. And you've gone for Everton to win away at Brighton. And that is a treble of 232.7.
That's a season ender. That is a season ender, isn't it?
So I'm putting 10 USDT on there now, which is 2,327 USDT coming back, already adding to your 68 USDT in the bank. So I would have to say if that does land, and the methodology of this is that only one needs to land a season, you'll be way, 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 way out in front. Chaps, I wish you the best of luck with your trebles. Thank you for your time on the Premier League preview, brought to you by sportsbet.io. Do get involved, offer your trebles, offer your score predictions as well. Do like, share and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the latest previews regarding football from across Europe, Champions League, NBA and NFL. Thank you, Robbo. Thank you, Mels, for your time today. Very much appreciated. And as always, please do gamble responsibly. We'll be back next week.